A kisebb sérülés miatt hiányzó Montpremier nélkül vettük fel a küzdelmet a Vasas ellen, és értékes 2 pontot szerezve behúztuk a 4. győzelmünket a bajnokságban. A magyar kupagyőztes Győr érkezése valódi rangadó volt, mivel 2 eddig veretlen csapat találkozott a bajnokságban. A mérkőzést a vártnál magabiztosabban, meggyőző játékkal nyertük meg. Volt olyan időszaka a találkozónak, amikor 20 ponttal is vezettünk, és megőriztük hibátlan bajnoki mérlegünket. Az Európa-kupa csoportkörében fogadtuk a jó erőkből álló török Botas gárdáját. Hatalmas küzdelemben sikerült 2 várra fektetni ellenfelünket, egy igazán magas színvonalú mérkőzésen, ahol minden labdáért komoly harc volt.
gratulálok én is az ellenfélnek, nagyon-nagyon nagy erőbedobásra készített minket. Szerencsére volt több jó egyéni teljesítményünk, ilyen volt Beatrice, aki gyakorlatilag a meccsünket gyakorlatilag megnyerte. Egymaga fantasztikusan játszott, mint támadásban, mint védekezésben, lepattanószerzésben, úgyhogy azt tudom elmondani, hogy ez ő mérkőzése volt. Nagyon örülök neki, hogy ilyen jól sikerült játszania. Nagyon készültünk az ellenfél kulcsjátékosainak a kikapcsolására. Külön kulcs volt itt az Uzun, akinek sajnos nem tudtuk megoldani a semlegesítését, úgyhogy a következő mérkőzéseinkben előtt fogunk játszani, még jobban fel fog rá készülni, és remélhetőleg nem fog még egyszer ilyen sok pontot dobni nekünk. Összességében nagyon örülök, hogy nyertünk, gratulálok az ellenfélnek, mert nagyon nagy mérkőzésre készítettek minket, de elsősorban magunknak gratulálok. Tovább folytatjuk a jó menetelésünket, nagyon fáradtak vagyunk, de meg fogjuk a játékosoknak mondani a regenerációját, és bízom benne, hogy további győzelmen fognak jönni.
So let's start early on with where you come from. You're from Kansas, Topeka, and was it a sporty town, or how did you get introduced to sports? Were your parents maybe athletes or something?
Yeah, so I was born in Topeka, and then we moved when I was little to an adjacent state, Missouri, and I grew up there till middle school, about 13, 14, and then I came back to Topeka. And when I lived there, yeah, I got involved in sports when I was, around 13 competitively. Started when I was a little younger in basketball, but 8th grade was when I really started to play on a really competitive team. My school was a private school, so they didn't have any really competitive sports. It was more, just there for the teammates and the culture and a really good education. But club basketball was where I really got started in sports, and I had some really great coaches, thankfully, at that time.
How or by whom? Let's ask like this.
My dad and my stepdad, both basketball fans. My dad played in college at a smaller level, like Division III. And then my stepdad didn't play, but is just at least not in college, and just has always been a big fan of the game. And they both instilled in me a love of basketball. I started playing recreationally when I was in 2nd grade. And so, yeah, from then on, just taking steps. I've always been really competitive, so it was always just a natural thing for me to be involved in a lot of sports when I was younger. And so, yeah, I was involved in softball, basketball, volleyball, tennis, never soccer or football. And so eventually I narrowed it down to volleyball and basketball, and then eventually just basketball.
I just checked your college's website, and there it says that you are the first player to hit so many points, like over 1,500 career points, 950 or more rebounds, 200 or more assists, 150 or more steals, and 100 or more blocks. Can you just tell us a little bit about that, and how did you feel during your college years, and did you win anything big, or maybe your best memory about those years?
I loved my college experience. It was a great opportunity to, do your education and play sport. Yeah, I had some really great coaches and teammates, and I did basketball and volleyball in college, and they were able to work together, both sets of teams. But yeah, I was fortunate to experience some success in college, and when you're that age, you're just trying so hard. You're trying so hard to do your best and play as a team, and everything feels so important, and it is, in college. We had a lot of really good fans also at K-State who really supported us, and over the years it just made you feel really special as an athlete to compete in that way. So yeah, I really loved my college experience.
In 2019, you were nominated for the US national team, and you competed in the Pan American Games, and you won silver there. How proud you were when you were called up to represent your country in such a big event, because it's a pretty big event there.
Yeah, I was very surprised to get, you know, the call to come and try out. Not that I don't think I'm capable as a player, but, you know, the United States is big, and it's also if you grow up competing on the national team, it's just easier to become part of those teams. And so in college, I got called, and I was surprised, and I went in with the attitude of, you know, I'm going to try my hardest and see what happens, and regardless, it's a good experience. And luckily, I was chosen for the team. It was a really tough couple of weeks, of course, as you're training for the Pan Am Games, but it was so surreal to obviously see USA on my jersey. It was, you know, a dream that I didn't realize I had. I didn't like allow myself to think about that, but then when you see yourself in the pictures, you're like, oh my gosh. And my mom, my stepmom were like crying, you know, they're super excited. So no, it was really awesome, and obviously to finish with the silver medal was awesome as well.
And now you're reunited with your teammate again.
I am, yes. Beatrice and I played on the Pan Am team together, and we were fighting against each other in practices then too, and then as teammates at the end of the day, every day. Yeah, so we met each other then, and it was so fun to be reunited with her again on this team as well. So.
You had the chance to try yourself for the WNBA for Seattle. As I didn't see any reasons on the internet, I just saw that you made the practice roster or like a training camp, and then you were cut. What do you think? What was the reason? If it's public or not, it depends on you. What were the reasons, and what do you think that you missed that they needed to put you in the team?
Okay, so I got the call pretty late to come up to Seattle. The draft had happened, like a week had passed, and I was like, all right, well, you know, maybe next year. And I got a late call, and then I was up there the next morning at 8 a.m. on a flight. And then it was still, this was 2021, I think, so it was still COVID time, like big time. And I got there to the camp, did all the procedure stuff, and then within the next day, they were like, you tested positive for COVID. So I spent most of my time in Seattle quarantined in a hotel for a week. So I got, you know, a paid hotel vacation. And then I got into about, you know, 2 or 3 days of practice. I want to say about 2 full days, and then my next day was like a preparation game against Phoenix. And at that time they started making cuts, and they pulled me in. They're like, hey, you know, hate to do this to you, but you didn't make the team. I'm like, I understand why. You don't know anything about me, basically, aside from what you already knew about me coming in. So aside from that, I'll say, even though I didn't get the chance that I'd hoped I would have, it's really tough to make a WNBA team. And even if I would have been, you know, ready and practicing, I think I would have probably been cut as well. So I think, and who knows, I might not have been ready. I was still really young, still am really young. So there's a lot of factors that go into it, I think. But those are some of them.
Good, that's good to know.
Yeah.
You mentioned before that you were involved with lots of sports. Your other main sport was volleyball. When was the time when you felt that you need to decide on a route that you want to take, and why did basketball win that battle with volleyball? What do you think?
I think. Yeah, so I played basketball and volleyball in tandem throughout college. I decided in high school, I couldn't decide essentially in high school. And I was fortunate enough to, it's very rare in the States to do that at the level that I did. And I had coaches who were willing to do that with me, which was really awesome. And no one expected it to go as long as it did. No one expected it to last the full college career, I don't think. But it did, which... and I loved it. I loved doing both. I'm perpetually indecisive, and also I just love doing a lot of things. So when it came down to deciding, it was just a matter of, I didn't know what I was going to do after college. I had not thought about professionally, like anything sports-wise. And then my coach came to me and he said, you know, hey, you potentially could play overseas if you're interested, because I also studied anthropology, international studies as a major. And he's like, you could go overseas and see countries and other cultures and get paid for it. And I was like, you know what, that's brilliant. Why didn't I think of that? And so as just a matter of deciding whether it was basketball or volleyball, I've played basketball longer. It's more comfortable for me. Also, there's, I think, just more opportunities as an American for basketball, but I don't know that for a fact. I just chose basketball, and here we are.
And these two sports with all these trainings and everything, how did it affect your education at all, or did you pass with flying colors? Like
I passed with flying colors. I was a good student. I was a good student, and I had some really awesome teachers who understood what I was doing. You know, you get some teachers who are like, well, you're an athlete, like you're just a slouch. But the good teachers, they understand the extra things that it requires as an athlete. So no, I did pretty well as a student.
What were your first impressions of Győr and of Hungary?
I think I still haven't seen all of Hungary, but when I first got to Győr, it was like I just thought, this is a really nice city. It's not too big, not too small, a good size. The people were nice and are nice continually when I'm in the restaurants. It's a little bigger than where I was last year. I was in Russia my first year, in France my second year, and now here. And this has been, you know, the people are welcoming. There's English being spoken, which is really nice for me. But even if people don't speak English, they're very accommodating. Yeah, and there's enough to do not to be bored in Győr, but also not too much to get distracted. So it's a good level.
That you're getting more and more comfortable in the team. You're getting more points, more rebounds, better statistics, I would say. Do you think that would you say that you are finding your rhythm and you're finding your place in the team?
Yeah, I think I am finding my rhythm a little bit better. It always takes me a little bit to warm up as a player. Historically, I have not been a player that just comes in and is able to produce like high numbers like some of the players on our team who are really good at that. And I respect those players a lot. I am not quite like that. I'm just more of, it just takes me a little time to understand the dynamics of the team, and I work best within a group and understanding the strengths of everyone and where I fit in that. And so, yeah, I think I am getting better at, you know, delivering points and getting rebounds and all those things statistically, and also just, yeah, being a better teammate and understanding what I bring to the table.
What do you do in your free time? Because we saw that you have some blog that you write about your foreign experiences. Yeah. What else do you like to do?
Yeah, so I write a little bit. I do the standard things. I watch Netflix movies like everyone. I read a little bit. I play the guitar and sing a little tune every once in a while. I keep myself busy, just like anyone, but those are the things that I do in my house. And then when I'm not in my house, if I have a spare moment, then I like to try and, you know, see what's around. I've been to Budapest. I'd like to make it to Vienna, and we'll see where else.
What is your goal with Győr for this season?
Well, we've had a really nice start. We've had a really solid start to the season, and of course we'd like to see that success keep going. We've yet to see Sopron, which I know is the big name. I'd love to see that stack up that we have against them to see where we truly stand. I believe in this team, though. I mean, clearly we've had the success and we get along well. I think we've got a good thing going, and I just want to see us take that as far as we can. I think we can win the whole thing, but hey, That's just me. I think so.
Város visszavár.